Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
My name is George Nemeh. I'm with Maap Real Talk Show again. And I cannot speak highly enough of this person that's right in front of me that granted me many interviews in the past and many decision making and many news that I broke the news because of this gentleman and his bills and the hard work that he has done. It's hard to even mention how many. And today, not only he's a representative, of course, for the state of Arizona, he's also a military. He was in what you with the armory, right?
I was
Armor. Yeah, that's what I mean. He was, yeah, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So all this qualification that he has, and now he's bringing it back to us here in Arizona. And now, not only this, he's also a candidate, which is, to me, as far as I'm concerned, you're already a congressman. I don't want to say you're running anymore because I think you are.
Yeah,
people love you.
I'm running for Congress.
No, but I think you already have one. I'm gonna speak like this.
Okay.
Because I think in my heart, like in orbit, I'm talking to the universe.
All right.
I think you're gonna win.
Okay.
And that's where I see you.
Okay.
I just see it. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe.
No, you're right. You're right.
So you have to have that confidence.
Okay.
Now, enough with the chat and the rants. But I just want you to know, because I'm very, very respectful to you because for the stuff that you've done. And everybody says, George, why are you like you mossing up to these guys? And I don't.
No, you're just reporting the correct news.
I'm doing the right thing. And sometimes if there's no news, it's not my fault. I'm not going to invent one.
Exactly.
And that's where we are right now.
Exactly. That's why I like interviewing with you.
Yes, and the news that we have, it's collectively to 80 million, to 100 million. It's not about just Walt. I forgot to introduce you. That's Walt Blackman, ladies and gentlemen. I can't forget that one.
Yeah.
Walt, W-A-L-T. Now, but sometimes I see Blackman, sometimes I see Black. Which one is it? Like, is
Blackman.
It's a Blackman, right?
B-L-A-C-K-M-A-N.
M-A-N. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Blackman, and you know, I'm ranting too much just for me. I'm being selfish today. I know the viewers right now, they're going to be a little bit upset when they watch because they say George is going at it again.
No, you didn't.
Sir, we already went through so many things together. You know, you and I have been like, we've been in the trenches. I call it the trenches. And many other constituents also have been as well. You know, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
Sir, every time you spoke to me, you threw me a bone that people would keep calling me and asking me, what did he say? What do you mean by that? But I never had a follow-up with you.
Okay, well, let's have that follow-up.
Let's have that follow-up. One of them was about abortion. The other one was about the vote. And, of course, they want me to ask you about yesterday.
The audit. Yeah.
The audit.
Yeah.
Now, that audit alone is confusing because I misinterpret a lot of things. Even when I did my reporting, I was confused. So I had to use words that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get deplatformed.
No.
So I was very careful how I word things. Sir, I gave you all the questions, so enough of me ranting, I'm going to let you do the talking. Okay. Can you tell me like everything that I just asked you, like run it down so that way we could do this? I know you want to go home.
Sure can. So the audit was very The audit was very important yesterday.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm good. It's just the dogs are barking. Okay.
The audit was very important yesterday. It was important not just so we already know what happened.
Right.
We know that the election was stolen. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that the election was stolen. We know what happened in 2020. Okay. We know that President Trump won Arizona. Okay.
Right.
What the audit did, what I wanted it to do was to restore confidence in the election system in Arizona.
Right.
I think that's important because now, before the audit, we had people that said they weren't going to vote anymore.
Right.
But now, since the audit is out,
right,
we have the results. People will go back to vote and vote for the person that they want in office. Now, it's not over.
Right.
Because that's just the first part. What needs to happen is that when we come back in the session, we need to take those recommendations that they listed out yesterday and run good legislation, okay, to make sure that those laws that were broken will now be, just fixed.
Right.
And then we need to hold those accountable that broke the law. So that's why they sent the report over to the Attorney General's office. He needs to do his due diligence with his office to make sure that those people who broke the law they answered that question and they are accountable, and if it needs be, they go to jail for what they did. That's exactly what needs to happen.
So since you're in the House, right? What happened now? Are you all out of session now?
We're out of session
But the governor has to call you in session.
The governor has to call us back in the
because he
session.
hasn't. I thought he would, but that's another story.
Yeah.
So I don't put nobody down. I don't do gotcha moment.
Yeah.
I just go with the flow, and I respect people's space and time and reasoning. This is always a reasoning.
Exactly.
See, I used to be a coach, and I have reasoning.
Yeah.
Why the player's not playing good today? There's a reasoning.
There's a reason for something.
Because you could have pain, you could have had something, and I'm like that type of guy with officials.
Yeah.
It could be something happening within that orbit.
Yeah.
Their bosses, people not pulling through for them.
Yeah.
You know, remember, we're working as a team. Our collective founding fathers, the way they did it, you have to have that little capacity of a capsule of 20, 30, or 100 people.
They worked as a team.
As a team, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yep.
So with that said, sir, let's say if he called you back into the House, right? What can we change with the votes, like with people? Because a lot of people, only question they ask me, I swear, is, I don't want to feel like voting because I think they have that little reservation, saying that's the only thing we have sacred that is being
gone.
It's gone. How are we going to restore that hope?
Well, we need to be called back in session, okay? But the governor, when the governor calls a special session, it has to be very detailed in what he calls it. So if he calls us in to fix what the recommendations were, if he calls us in for that, then what we need to do is address the problems that he called us in for.
Right.
So he can't just say, I'm calling you in for special session without a reason or without a mission or a task.
So that's how it is. Okay.
We have to do that. Now, what I would have liked to see what happened is instead of us sine dying, which ended the session, we should have adjourned. Or recessed. Recessed. And then after this came out, we come back in, re-adjourned in, gobbled in, and then address the issues and use those recommendations to right those.
Right. Well, most of the recommendation that the gentleman was Mr. Doug Logan.
Yeah.
He was addressing, like, it was very softly, we barely heard it in the room.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people outside, maybe they heard it better because they had the mics. It's just us with the speakers. Maybe they should get a new speakers. No, I'm only kidding. Because we couldn't hear them inside. I just want you to know, so from that end, what Walt Blackman would like to change as a congressman? Like now we're moving into the other level. So
well, first of all, what I want to do is I want to stop the attack on our election system to try to federalize our elections. We know right now with H.R. 1, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that bill. H.R. 1.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, H.R. 1 federalizes our election. It automatically registers people to vote. It automatically gets people in the system, illegal aliens and those who should not be able to vote. It automatically does that. So I want to be able to stop that. And we can do that if we win the House back. And we can do that if we have more folks that are coming out, particularly in my district that I'm running in, to vote so we can stop it.
What do you say to the voter in Arizona now? Of course, that we are in the state of Arizona, that they vote counts, because a lot of them they saying after they heard with the electoral votes, and their votes don't count. Why should I go? There's one guy changes everything. Well, how can you assure them that is not the way they're thinking it is? It looks that way, but it's not.
Because we can't quit. We can't give up. And the reason why we can't give up, if we look at our history, if we look at the Revolutionary War, they were out for the count. They were fighting against a professional army. They had an army of ragtag Americans who loved their country, who wanted a new country, and they didn't quit. We can't quit on this hill. This is the hill that we need to take, and we need to make sure that we preserve not only for us but for our kids. So we don't have a choice. So when people ask me that question, or say they don't want to vote, it's a
waste of time. They didn't say they don't want to vote. It's just like
it's a waste of time. We can't afford to do that
because they rejected them. The signature wasn't inaccurate.
We can't afford
two of my neighbors, their signature did not match.
Well, think about what would happen if we did do that. If we said no, we're not going to vote.
Right.
Think of the laws and the consequences that we would see as a result of not getting involved. We don't have a choice. This is a new revolution. It's not one with guns or cannons. This is a revolution of right and wrong, liberty and freedom.
I don't know if you remember my interview with you February 10th of 2021. The reason why I remember things vividly, you might think I was a genius, I'm not. It's just because you leave me every time with an indelible mark.
Thank you.
If that makes sense. I hope this has nothing to do with politics, actually.
Yeah.
It has to do with your showmanship, your personality. You make the person feel comfortable and at ease. So please, with that said, if something like I need to know without me coercing you or like pushing you into that envelope, I'll be happy to hear from you, especially what about the abortion.
Okay, so
you touched base on it, but then we didn't elaborate, if you remember.
Sure. So the abortion issue, let me just talk about the abortion in the black community.
Yes.
Let me talk about that right now.
The father's absence.
Exactly. Absent fathers, a high rate of abortion. 70% of those abortions are late